It's the summer of 1914. Europe smells like horses, coal smoke, and political tension. You wake up in a world without smartphones, antibiotics, or Netflix. So yes, boredom can kill you. You're standing in a bustling train station in Sarajevo, where the air is thick with cigarette smoke and whispers. The kind of whispers that make you glance over your shoulder because they sound like they're about you. A brass band is playing somewhere in the distance, trying to drown out the low hum of something wrong. The newspapers are full of names you can't quite pronounce, treaties you've never read, and leaders who smile like they're about to shake your hand and then quietly borrow your country. Every headline feels like a match just waiting to be struck. And then it happens. A car, shiny black and absurdly luxurious, rolls down a narrow street. You can hear its tires crunching over cobblestones, see the sunlight glinting off polished metal. Inside, Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife, Sophie. They're smiling politely, the way royals do when they've been told the people love them. But the crowd isn't just waving. Some hands are clenched, some eyes are cold. You feel it, a tension, sharp as the smell of gunpowder before the match is lit. The next few moments, they'll change the entire 20th century. And right now, you're standing close enough to hear the faint click of metal against metal. You turn your head just in time to see a young man in a cheap suit push through the crowd. He looks ordinary, too ordinary. The kind of face you'd forget in a minute if it weren't for the fact that his hand is stuffed inside his jacket like he's smuggling a bad secret. The brass band keeps playing. The driver keeps rolling forward. Nobody else seems to notice. Then, pop. Not the Hollywood bang, with slow motion and orchestral strings. More like the sharp crack of a champagne cork. If champagne could end empires. The air smells of burned powder. People scream. You feel the ripple of panic surge through the crowd, shoving you sideways. The Archduke's driver, confused, slams the accelerator. The car lurches forward, disappearing around the corner. The would-be assassin, grabbed, hauled off. Everyone thinks it's over. You can almost hear the collective exhale, except you're not breathing easy. Something in your gut tells you the day isn't done with you yet. That maybe the universe has decided one failed attempt isn't dramatic enough for the history books. And as you follow the street toward the river, the sound of that same shiny black car's engine drifts back into earshot. The car's engine isn't where it's supposed to be. It's louder now, echoing oddly against the stone buildings. Like someone's taking a wrong turn in a maze they should have memorized. You weave through the crowd, half curious, half dreading what you're about to see. And there it is, the same black car, crawling along like it's lost. The driver's face is pale, tight, scanning the street for the route he should have taken. Behind him, the Archduke and Sophie look confused, maybe even annoyed. Royals aren't used to bad directions. Then, in one of those tiny, absurd coincidences history seems to love, the car rolls to a stop, right in front of a sandwich shop. And right in front of another young man, different from the first, leaning casually against the wall. You lock eyes with him for just a second. His gaze is calm, too calm, like he's been waiting for this exact moment all morning. His hand disappears into his coat, and before you can shout, move, do anything, two quick cracks split the air, sharper, meaner than the first. The crowd freezes, caught between disbelief and the slow realization that this isn't another drill, another false alarm. You see Sophie clutch her stomach, her white dress blooming red. The Archduke's face twists, not in shock, but in fury, as he leans toward her. His voice is low, urgent. words you can't quite hear over the chaos, but you know they're meant to keep her alive. The driver panics, slamming the gear and tearing down the street. You catch a final glimpse of them through the dust and sunlight. Sophie slumped, Franz Ferdinand holding her, blood streaking his jacket, and the black car vanishing like a coffin on wheels. Somewhere behind you, people are shouting the assassin's name. Others are yelling for doctors. But above it all, there's that strange electric stillness, like the world itself knows it's just been shoved off a cliff. Because this isn't just two people dying in a city you couldn't find on a map last week. This is the first domino, and it's already tipping. The dominoes don't fall all at once. They teeter, wobble, almost stop, then crash into the next with a force you can feel in your bones. Within hours, the news is sprinting faster than any train. Telegram wires hum with frantic messages, each one dripping with outrage, accusation, and just enough misinformation to turn suspicion into certainty. Governments start drawing lines in the sand. Alliances whisper promises that sound like protection but smell like gunpowder. In Vienna, black armbands appear on every sleeve. In Belgrade, celebrations are hushed behind closed doors. And in coffee houses from Berlin to London, men in pressed uniforms lean over maps like gamblers planning their next move. You stand in the middle of it all, not in the halls of power, but on streets where soldiers suddenly march with more purpose, where merchants count their coins twice before closing early, and where children look up at the sky as if wondering when the first thunder will roll. You can sense it now. War isn't just possible, it's impatient. It's pacing at the edge of the stage, waiting for its cue. And that cue comes in the form of an ultimatum, one so sharp it might as well be written in bayonet steel. Austria-Hungary sends it to Serbia. A list of demands so impossible it's less a negotiation and more a loaded gun placed gently on the table. The world holds its breath. In cafes, men argue over whether Serbia will fold. In smoky back rooms, diplomats try to turn a blade into a handshake. And in the barracks, soldiers clean their rifles without being told why, though they already know. You can almost hear the ticking clock behind it all. 10 days to answer. 10 days to decide if Europe will pull back from the edge or swan dive into chaos. The streets grow quieter, the way they do before a storm. Shopkeepers keep one eye on their shelves and another on the horizon. Priests speak in softer voices. Even the pigeons in the square seem restless. Then Serbia answers, and somewhere in that polite, carefully worded reply, Austria-Hungary hears a single word, louder than all the rest: no. And once that word echoes, there's no stuffing it back into the envelope. The declaration of war lands like a thunderclap, not the slow, rolling kind you hear in summer, but the crack that rattles windows and makes you wonder if the roof just shifted. Austria-Hungary points its finger at Serbia, and almost instantly, the rest of Europe starts picking sides like schoolkids before a very, very violent game. Russia steps in, puffing its chest on Serbia's behalf. Germany throws an arm around Austria-Hungary and grins in that try me way. France watches, calculating. Britain, well, Britain pretends it's just here for the tea, but its hand is already hovering over the sword. You feel it in the air, the tempo of life accelerating. Railway stations swell with khaki and grey uniforms. Factories clank to life, the smell of oil and hot metal mixing with the sweat of men who know they're making the tools of death. Posters go up, bold fonts, heroic images, calling men to enlist. In the pubs, someone buys a round for the boys, and everyone cheers, not realizing they're toasting the last quiet nights they'll ever have. And in the midst of it, trains begin to move, not just carrying people, but carrying an entire civilization towards something it has never seen before. Those trains don't just carry soldiers, they carry certainty. The certainty that whatever this is, it's going to be quick. They call it the Great Adventure. Young men cram into the carriages, shoulders brushing, boots stomping, laughter echoing off the wooden walls. They swap cigarettes, promise to send postcards, and swear they'll be home by Christmas. The air reeks of sweat, tobacco, and that naive confidence you only have before history chews you up. But as the trains rattle east and west, the landscapes outside the windows change. Villages shrink into dots, then vanish into endless fields. And in those fields, you can already see the scars, trenches being dug, fences of barbed wire gleaming in the sun, soldiers moving like ants in the distance. You feel the shift in mood inside the carriage. The laughter fades. The songs trail off. Someone staring too long at the last church spire disappearing behind the horizon, like he's memorizing it. Because deep down, everyone knows the truth. They're not just leaving home. They're leaving the world they knew. And when they come back, if they come back, it won't be there anymore. And the first stop on that journey, it's not what anyone is expecting. The first stop isn't a battlefield, it's a bottleneck. A small Belgian town you'd never heard of before now becomes the stage for something the newspapers will call heroic, and the survivors will call hell. The trains screech to a halt, and suddenly you're marching, packs heavy, rifles digging into your shoulder, boots slapping the cobblestones in an uneven rhythm. The streets smell of fresh bread and fear. Curtains twitch. Somewhere, a child cries. And then, without warning, the air snaps, rifle fire, sharp and flat, echoing between the buildings. Brick chips spray into the street. Someone next to you drops without a sound. You scramble for cover, the world narrowing to the pounding of your heart and the grit in your teeth. The officers bark orders that are half drowned by the gunfire. You catch sight of the enemy, shadows darting behind windows, flashes of muzzle fire like camera bulbs at the world's worst photo shoot. This was supposed to be quick, clean, glorious. Instead, your ears are ringing, your hands are shaking, and the cobblestones are slick with something you try not to look at. And just when you think it can't get any worse, it gets worse. The enemy stops shooting. Not because they've run out of bullets, but because they've switched to something else. A deep, hollow hump echoes from somewhere ahead, followed by a sound you can't place, like a wet sheet tearing in the air. The shell hits 2 streets over. The ground shivers beneath your boots, and then the sound arrives, deafening, brutal, a concussion that knocks the breath out of you. Bits of brick, glass, and something you don't want to identify rain down from above. Smoke curls through the narrow street, thick and gritty, coating your tongue with dust and copper. You can't see more than a few feet, but you hear the shouting, your side, their side, maybe both. Somewhere in the haze, someone is screaming for a medic, and the voice cuts off too suddenly. You press your back against the wall, rifle trembling in your grip, and realize the war you imagined. The one with clean uniforms, waving flags, and a quick victory was a bedtime story. And as the smoke begins to clear, you see the shape of something looming ahead. Not a person, not a building. Something else entirely. It's metal. At first, you think it's just the twisted wreck of a cart or a collapsed fence. But then it moves, slow, deliberate, heavy. The street seems to vibrate under its weight. Through the haze, the shape takes form. An armored beast on treads, belching smoke from its snout, crawling forward like it owns the earth. You've never seen anything like it. Nobody here has. It's not in the manuals, not in the training. It's the future, and it's arrived too early, wearing the skin of a nightmare. Bullets ping off its sides like rain on a church roof. It doesn't flinch. It doesn't stop. The men in front of you scatter. Some duck into doorways. Others simply run, their rifles dangling uselessly at their sides. You feel the heat of it as it grinds past, close enough that the oily stench stings your eyes. Somewhere inside, you know there are men operating it, but from where you're standing, it feels less like a machine and more like the war itself has grown a body. And as you watch it vanish into the smoke ahead, there's a new sound, a low, rolling thunder that isn't coming from the sky. The thunder grows, not in the clouds, but in the ground beneath your feet. Like the earth itself has decided to join the fight. It's the boots, hundreds of them, marching in perfect rhythm, getting closer with each beat. Through the thinning smoke, you see them. A wall of grey uniforms, bayonets fixed, faces grim and unreadable. They move as one, swallowing the street in a tide of steel. Your officer yells something, probably hold the line, but his voice sounds thin against that steady drumbeat of boots. You raise your rifle, hands slick with sweat, and try to aim. But the world has narrowed to a tunnel, grey, smoke, and the gleam of cold metal. The first volley comes from your side. The recoil jars your shoulder. The muzzle flash blinds you for half a second, and in that half second, they're closer. You fire again, closer still. The smell of gunpowder is so thick it burns your throat. Someone to your left drops, then another. The line buckles. You feel yourself stepping back without meaning to, because they're almost on you now, and the street has nowhere left to go. And just as the first bayonet lunges toward you, a deafening roar splits the air, not from rifles this time, but from somewhere overhead. Instinct takes over. You hit the cobblestones, cheek pressed to the cold grit, just in time to feel the shadow pass. A split second later, the impact hits, an explosion so close it feels like your lungs collapse inward. Heat washes over your back. Shards of stone and splinters of wood rain down, pattering against your helmet. When you lift your head, the street is a blur of chaos. The grey wall has fractured, some men thrown to the ground, others staggering blind through the dust. But this isn't salvation, it's just a different kind of terror. Because now you hear it, a high, mechanical buzzing, growing louder, circling overhead. You squint upward through the drifting smoke and catch sight of it. A biplane, fragile looking but predatory, banking low. It's beautiful in a terrible way, sunlight glinting off its wings. But beauty doesn't stop the payload it carries. The plane dips again, and the glint of something small and metallic drops from beneath its belly. You track it without meaning to, this tiny, spinning speck falling faster and faster, the way a coin tumbles through water. Then it hits. The blast lifts you half off the ground, hurls you sideways into a doorway that barely stands. Your ears ring so violently, the world seems to fold in on itself. No shouts, no gunfire, just a high, piercing whine. You blink and the scene comes back in fragments. A soldier crawling without his helmet, his hands raw and bleeding. Smoke pouring from a burning cart, the horse still hitched and screaming. A bayonet glinting from under a pile of rubble like a trapped insect's leg. Your breath is ragged, each inhale a drag of smoke and dust. You try to stand, but your legs feel like they belong to someone else. Through the shifting haze, you spot movement, not the chaos of the street, but a single figure, walking calmly toward you, to calm. And as the shape resolves, a long coat, a rifle slung casually over the shoulder, you realize they're not coming to help. They're coming to finish the job. The figure steps over debris with the casual grace of someone walking a garden path. The coat flaps open just enough to show the stock of the rifle, the dull metal catching what little sunlight cuts through the smoke. You press your back harder against the wall, mind racing. Your own rifle is a few feet away, half buried under shattered brick. It might as well be miles. The figure draws closer. 20 paces. 15. 10. You can see their face now, expressionless, eyes flat, like this is just another task on a long list. They stop in front of you, boots inches from your knees. The sound of the battlefield fades until all you hear is your own breathing, too loud, too fast. Their hand moves toward the rifle, slow, deliberate. And then, something behind them catches their attention. A shout in a language you can't quite make out. The stranger's eyes flick away from you, just for a heartbeat. And that heartbeat is all you need. You lunge, grabbing for the rubble beside you. Not your rifle, but a jagged shard of brick, still warm from the blast. You swing upward, desperate, aiming for anything soft. It connects with a sickening thud against the side of their head. The figure stumbles back, their rifle clattering to the ground. You don't wait. You dive for it, fingers closing around the cold wood of the stock. Your vision tunnels. Your pulse is so loud it drowns the world. You lift the weapon, unsure if your hands are shaking from fear, adrenaline, or the weight of what you're about to do. The soldier recovers faster than you expect, eyes blazing now, no longer calm. They take a step toward you, and the street erupts again, this time with a sound you haven't heard before, a deep, steady rumble, like the growl of something huge waking from a long sleep. It's getting closer. The rumble grows until you can feel it in your chest, each vibration rattling through your ribs. At first, you think it's another armored vehicle, another of those mechanical beasts. But this is different. Lower, heavier, like the earth itself is being pulled forward. Through the smoke, a silhouette emerges. Not one shape, many. Horses, dozens of them, steam rising from their flanks, nostrils flaring, eyes wide and white. The ground quakes beneath their hooves as they charge into the street, harnessed to artillery pieces that look almost too big for the narrow road. The soldier in front of you hesitates, glancing toward the incoming thunder. That's your moment. You scramble to your feet, rifle still in hand, and melt into the chaos before they can decide whether you're worth chasing. The horses thunder past, riders shouting commands you can barely hear over the cacophony. Wheels screech as the guns swing into place, crews already prepping them to fire. And then, over the din, you catch a different sound, high and keening, cutting through everything else. It's not gunfire, not shells, it's a whistle. Not the sharp bark of an officer's command, but a long, drawn-out cry that sends a shiver through everyone who hears it. The artillery crews freeze mid-motion. The riders pull hard on their reins, horses skidding and snorting, eyes rolling in panic. The sound grows louder, closer, and then you see it. At first, it's just a faint shimmer on the far end of the street, like heat rising off summer pavement. But the shimmer thickens, swirls, and begins to spread along the ground in a slow, creeping wave. The smell hits you next, sweet, almost floral, but wrong, gas. A yellow-green haze curls around corners, clings to doorways, and spills low over the cobblestones. You've heard rumors, ugly ones, about what this stuff does to a man's lungs. But rumors don't prepare you for the way every instinct in your body screams run. Soldiers fumble for masks. Some don't have them. One man wraps a handkerchief around his face, already coughing hard enough to double over. The horses scream as handlers drag them away from the thickening cloud. You're backing up without thinking, eyes darting for any escape. But the gas moves like it knows where you're going, and it's faster than you are. You duck into a side alley, lungs burning with each shallow breath. The air here is clearer, barely, but the hiss of the gas creeping around the corner tells you it won't stay that way for long. Somewhere to your left, boots slap against the stones. Another soldier, mask in place, moving with purpose. For a second, you think he's coming for you, but he doesn't even glance your way. He's heading deeper into the alley, toward a set of heavy wooden doors. He pounds on them twice, hard, then slips inside without a word. Before the gas catches up, you follow. The door shuts behind you, plunging you into near darkness. The smell changes instantly: damp earth, oil, and something faintly metallic. Your eyes adjust just enough to make out shapes: crates stacked to the ceiling, the shadow of a lantern, the glint of a lantern hanging from a nail. The masked soldier is already halfway across the room, rummaging through a chest. You hear the clink of metal, the rustle of cloth, and then something heavier sliding across wood. He turns toward you, and in his hands is an object you've never seen before. But you can tell instantly it's not meant for defense. It's meant to start something. It's a cylinder, matte black, about the length of your forearm, capped with brass on both ends. The soldier handles it with a kind of reverence, like it's worth more than his own life. Even in the dim light, you can make out faint stenciling on the side. You can't read it all, but one word stands out: prototype. He sets it down gently on a table and pulls off his mask. His face is gaunt, eyes rimmed red from the gas outside, but they burn with a strange urgency. Without a word, he flips open a small panel on the cylinder, revealing a tangle of wires and something that looks disturbingly like a clockwork timer. The sound of the gas outside is gone now, replaced by the dull thump of artillery somewhere far off. But you can't shake the feeling that whatever's in that cylinder is more dangerous than anything happening beyond these walls. The soldier glances at you for the first time, his lips curling into the faintest smirk, as if to say you're in this now, whether you like it or not. He starts winding the mechanism inside, each click echoing louder than it should. Then the lantern flickers, the shadows on the walls twist, and you hear footsteps approaching the door you just came through. The soldier freezes mid-turn of the mechanism. The ticking stops. The footsteps are slow, deliberate, boot heels clicking against stone. Not the hurried pace of a comrade rushing for shelter, but the measured approach of someone who knows exactly where you are. You and the soldier exchange a glance. He slides the cylinder into a canvas satchel and cinches it tight, his movements almost a calm. Then, without warning, he yanks you behind a stack of crates. The air back here smells of old rope and mold, and the space is just wide enough for you to crouch shoulder to shoulder in the dark. The door creaks open. Light from outside spills into the room, cutting across the floor. A figure steps in, silhouette sharp against the haze beyond. You can't see their face, but you can hear the faint jingle of metal as they move, like coins in a pocket or dog tags. They pause in the center of the room, listening. Then they call out something in a language you don't understand. The words slow and heavy. No answer, a beat passes. The figure starts walking toward the crates, toward you. Each step they take thuds through the floorboards, vibrating in your knees. You hold your breath, muscles locked so tight they ache. The soldier beside you reaches into his coat, fingers curling round the handle of a pistol, small, black, and ugly. The figure stops just a few feet away. For a moment, The only sound is the faint creak of leather straps as they shift their weight. You can smell them now: sweat, gun oil, and the sharp tank of tobacco. A hand rests on the edge of the crate. Fingers curl over the wood. The soldier next to you moves fast, too fast. He pops up, gun raised. The figure reacts instantly, a flash of steel in the dim light. The shot goes off, deafening in the enclosed space, the muzzle flash searing your vision. When your eyes clear, the intruder is on the ground, motionless. The soldier doesn't check if they're dead, just wipes his mouth with the back of his hand and mutters something under his breath. Then he shoves the satchel with the cylinder into your arms. His voice is sharp, now urgent. Run. And before you can ask where, the sound of more boots, many more, rushes toward the door. They're close, too close. The rhythm of their steps is quick, chaotic, echoing off the alley walls outside. The soldier shoves you toward a narrow gap between crates and the wall. You squeeze through, splinters snagging your coat, the satchel bumping against your ribs with every awkward move. On the other side, you find a low, splintered door, half hidden by barrels. He jerks his chin toward it. You drop to your knees and push it open. Cold air slaps your face, a sharp relief from the dusty, oil-thick room. You're in a service passage, barely wide enough to stand, with damp stones underfoot and a single strip of light leaking in from somewhere ahead. Behind you, the soldier stays, pistol raised, ready to hold them off. For a heartbeat, you hesitate until his voice cuts through. Go. If they get this, it's over. You run. The satchel thumps against your side, every step echoing down the narrow tunnel. The light ahead grows brighter, turning from pale grey to the harsh gold of late afternoon. You burst out into an open courtyard, empty, silent, at first. Then you hear it. Not boots, not shells, engines, many of them, and they're getting closer. The sound bounces off the courtyard walls, low and guttural, like a pack of wolves circling a pen. You spin, searching for an exit, but the stone archways around you all seem to lead back into shadowed corridors, or straight toward the noise. The engines grow louder, joined by the metallic clatter of gears, shifting and treads grinding over cobblestone. A shadow spills across the far wall, too large to belong to a man, too jagged to be just one vehicle. Then the first one appears, a squat, armored car with a turret perched on top like a watchful eye. Its gun swings lazily across the courtyard, hunting. Another follows, and another, their exhaust belching thick black smoke that stings your throat. You duck behind a pile of broken masonry, clutching the satchel tight. The weight of it feels heavier now, almost alive. Somewhere deep in your gut, you know the men in those machines aren't here for prisoners. Through a gap in the rubble, you spot a small wooden gate in the far corner. It's half-rotted, hanging crooked on its hinges, but beyond it you see a sliver of open road. Freedom, if you can reach it. You take one step toward it and freeze, because standing in front of the gate is a figure in a long coat, hands clasped behind their back, watching you like they've been expecting you all along. The figure tilts their head just slightly, the way a predator sizes up prey. Their coat flutters in the oily wind from the engines, revealing polished boots and the glint of something metallic at their hip. You can't see their eyes beneath the shadow of their cap, but you can feel them, steady, unblinking, reading every flicker of hesitation in your stance. A voice cuts through the courtyard, low and precise. Put it down. It's not a request. The satchel feels like it's burning against your palm. You shift your weight, glancing toward the rubble, the armored cars, the other darkened arches. There's no clean escape, not without a distraction, and not without risking a bullet before you take 3 steps. The figure takes a slow step forward. You don't know what you're carrying, do you? You open your mouth, but the ground shakes with the sudden roar of another engine, closer, louder. A second armored car grinds into view, blocking the far archway entirely. The figure smirks. Good, that means you'll still be alive when you hand it over. Behind them, beyond the half-rotted gate, the sliver of road is still there, empty, sunlit, almost too bright to look at. You realize you have only 2 choices: give them the satchel, or make a run for it. Your pulse hammers so loud you're sure they can hear it. The satchel strap digs into your fingers. It's heavier now, not in weight, but in consequence. The soldier beside you shifts, barely perceptible, his body angling so that his hand hovers near his sidearm. His eyes meet yours for just a second, and in that second, you both understand, if this turns into a fight, it won't be clean, and it won't be short. The figure's smirk fades. Their hand moves toward their holster. Somewhere behind you, deeper in the fortress, something metallic clangs loud, sharp, echoing like a dropped pipe. Both the figure and the soldier flinch toward the sound. It's the opening you didn't think you'd get. You run. Boots slam against the uneven stones, the satchel bouncing against your side. Shouts erupt behind you, orders barked in clipped syllables, the crack of gunfire snapping past your ear. You don't dare look back. The sunlit road swells in your vision, almost blinding. Your lungs burn, your legs ache, and still you push harder, because you know if you slow, just for a breath, it's over. You hit the road and turn left, disappearing into the white glare. Behind you, the fortress shrinks into shadow. The heat hits you like a wall, thick, dry, and shimmering off the cracked road. Your ears are still ringing from the gunfire, but you catch the distant hum of an engine, not the steady rhythm of a supply truck. Smaller, faster. You glance over your shoulder. A cloud of dust is rising on the horizon, closing in. The soldier catches up, breathing hard but steady. He doesn't ask if you're okay, just jerks his chin toward the rocky slope to your right. Without slowing, he veers off the road, boots crunching on gravel, and you follow. The slope is steeper than it looked, every step sending loose stones skittering downhill. You slip, catch yourself, and keep moving, the satchel thudding against your ribs. Above, jagged cliffs carve shadows into the afternoon light. At the base of one, half hidden by scrub, is a narrow crevice. The soldier squeezes inside without hesitation, vanishing into the dark. You hesitate. The hum of the engine is louder now. The road is just a few meters behind you. You duck into the crevice. The world outside disappears, swallowed by cool stone and the damp smell of earth. The space is tight, forcing you to move sideways, your shoulders scraping the walls. After a few meters, the passage opens into a hollow, no bigger than a small room. The soldier is already there, kneeling by a battered wooden chest in the shadows. He looks up at you, eyes sharp. "Lock the entrance," he says. Before you can ask what he means, he pries open the chest, and something inside glints in the faint light. Inside the chest, the glint resolves into a bundle of metal cylinders, each no longer than your hand, wrapped in oiled cloth. Not ammunition, at least, not any kind you've seen. The soldier's gaze flicks toward the crevice entrance, then back to you. These are why they're coming. You crouch beside him. The air in here feels heavier, pressing against our ears. You notice faint etchings burned into the wood, symbols that seem to shift when you look directly at them. "What are they?" you whisper. He doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he unwraps one cylinder and sets it carefully in your palm. It's warm, too warm for metal stored underground, and the surface vibrates faintly like a heartbeat. "They're keys," he finally says, "but not for any door you've ever opened." From outside, the engine cuts out. Silence, then footsteps, slow, measured, moving toward the crevice. The soldier snaps the chest shut, slings it over his shoulder, and moves closer to the shadows along the back wall. That tunnel, he points to a slit in the stone you'd almost missed, leads deeper. Stay close, and whatever you hear, don't stop. The first boot scuffs on the gravel outside. "Do you want me to keep going with what happens when you enter the tunnel?" You slip into the tunnel, the stone immediately swallowing the last scraps of daylight. The soldier follows, chest gripped tight, his breathing steady despite the narrow squeeze. Your shoulders scrape the walls. The air smells older here, damp, mineral, and faintly metallic. Every sound you make seems too loud, as if the tunnel is amplifying it for whoever might be listening behind you. From the entrance, a voice calls out, low, almost conversational. You can't make out the words, but they roll down the stone like a tide. The soldier doesn't react, just pushes forward faster. The passage twists. You duck under a jagged overhang, and your hand lands on something smooth, carved. A face, worn by centuries, stares back at you from the rock, its mouth slightly open as if mid-breath. Then you hear it. Not the footsteps behind, though they're there now, unmistakable, but something ahead. A faint hum, almost melodic, vibrating through the floor into your bones. The soldier stops just long enough to glance over his shoulder. His eyes are different now, brighter, like the reflection of firelight. We're close, he says. The hum deepens, and the stone beneath your feet starts to warm. Do you want me to continue into what you find at the end of the tunnel? The tunnel widens suddenly, spilling you into a cavern so vast your breath catches. The ceiling disappears into shadow, but you can feel the weight of it above, heavy, ancient. In the center of the chamber sits a pool, perfectly still, its surface so clear it looks like glass. But beneath it, shapes move, slow and deliberate, as if the water is a thin skin stretched over something alive. The hum is louder here, no longer just sound but sensation, pressing against your chest, crawling along your teeth, settling in your skull. The soldier steps to the edge of the pool. He doesn't look at you. He kneels, places his palm flat against the water's surface. It doesn't ripple. Instead, the shapes below shift, aligning, forming a pattern, a sigil, something that feels older than the city above. They'll be here soon, he says quietly. Once it starts, you can't leave. Behind you, the tunnel breathes. Not air, pressure. Like something large is squeezing through. The water begins to glow. The glow intensifies, flooding the cavern walls with pale blue light. Every crack in the stone shimmers, as if the rock itself remembers something. The soldier's hand trembles on the water's surface, though his voice stays steady. Once it knows your name, you'll never be the same again. Your instinct screams to step back, but the light pulls at you. The sigil beneath the water rearranges itself, curling inward like a spiral, each motion impossibly precise. The sound changes to becomes a low chorus, dozens, no, hundreds, of voices speaking in a language you can almost understand, like words just out of reach. Then the air behind you shifts. The tunnel is no longer empty. Shadows spill forward, stretching along the stone floor. You catch the glint of metal, helmets, rifles, before the first soldier's boot crosses the threshold. The man beside you looks up, finally meeting your eyes. Now, he says, before they see it, and without another word, he pushes your hand toward the water. Your fingertips touch the surface, but it isn't wet, it's warm, alive. The instant you make contact, the cavern vanishes. You're falling, but there's no wind, no rush, just the slow drift of a dream, weightless yet inevitable. Below you stretches an endless expanse of dark water, broken only by faint constellations of light flickering deep beneath the surface. Each point of light pulses like a heartbeat, and when you focus on one, you hear memories, not yours, not anyone's you know. Entire lifetimes compressed into a single breath. A voice, the same chorus from before, threads into your mind. You are late. Your feet touch down on something unseen. The water is still around you, rising only to your ankles, but you can't see its edge. Shapes begin to rise from beneath, tall, angular, glistening with the same pale glow. At first, they look like pillars, until they move. Figures. The nearest one tilts its head, studying you with a face that isn't quite human. Name yourself. Your mouth opens, but no sound comes. It's not that you've forgotten your name. It's that here, names feel heavier, as if speaking one might set something in motion you can't reverse. The figure steps closer. The glow in its form shifts, brighter at the edges, dimmer at the center, like it's breathing light instead of air. Its eyes, if they are eyes, are two vertical slits of white fire. Name yourself, it says again, sharper this time. Behind it, the others move in unison, their heads tilting at the same angle, their bodies rippling with light like reflections in disturbed water. You feel a presence at your back, warm, solid. The soldier, except when you turn, it isn't the soldier, it's you. An exact mirror, same clothes, same stance, but its eyes are lit with the same white fire as the figures. It leans in, lips close to your ear. Say it, it whispers. Or I will. Your double's breath feels cold despite the heat of the cavern light. The figures in the water begin to sway, not randomly, but in a rhythm, as if counting down to something. You can't tell if the ticking is in your ears or in your head. 5, 4, 3. Your reflection's lips curl into a smile that's almost yours. The soldier's voice echoes from somewhere far away, muffled like he's underwater. If it speaks first, you stop existing. 2. The water's glow sharpens, focusing into a single beam that lances straight toward your chest. 1. The reflection inhales to speak. The reflection's inhale feels endless. It's as though the very air is being pulled toward it, siphoned out of your lungs. Your chest tightens, not in panic, not yet, but in that strange, creeping way a room grows colder before a storm breaks. The glowing figures in the water shift again, not swaying now, but bending forward, like flowers turning toward light. Except the light is coming from you. That beam in your chest isn't just touching you, it's searching you. You feel it pass through your ribs, sliding between bones, brushing your spine like a fingertip tracing a name in dust. Name yourself. The voice from your double is low now, almost intimate, like it's trying to coax the answer out of you instead of demanding it. Your mind races. You think of your name, but it feels small here, a noise too fragile for this place. You think of other names you've been called, nicknames, titles, insults, but none of them seem to belong to the body you're standing in. The cavern hums faintly. You realize the hum is in sync with your pulse. Every beat seems slower, heavier. Your double tilts its head, studying you with those burning eyes. Behind it, the soldiers, no, the figures, stand perfectly still, the water around them unmoving now, like glass. The countdown has stopped. Or maybe it's just waiting for something more interesting. Your throat feels dry, but you try to speak anyway. The sound that comes out is not your voice. It's deeper, older, like the crack of ice breaking in a frozen river. You stop, startled by yourself. The reflection grins wider. Ah, there it is. You want to step back, but your feet won't move. It's not fear, it's that the ground feels like it's holding you in place, gripping your boots with invisible hands. Something ripples in the beam of light from your chest. For a moment, you see shapes moving inside it, shapes like memories, but distorted. A room you've never been in, lined with shelves of silver objects. A field of black grass swaying under two moons. A figure on a shore, holding a lantern that doesn't cast light, only darkness. Each image flickers and fades before you can focus on it. The double leans in again. Say it, and they'll leave you alone. You can't tell if it's lying. The soldier's voice returns, closer now, but still urgent. If you speak without knowing, it won't be you who walks out of here. The double's smile falters, just for a heartbeat, before it straightens again, that burning gaze never leaving yours. The water stirs, the beam tightens, the cavern waits. If you'd like, I can keep expanding in this slower, more descriptive rhythm so the scene sustains for a full hour. That would let us build suspense in waves, small reveals, shifting power between you and your double, and moments where you're not sure if time is moving at all. Do you want me to keep going in this drawn-out, cinematic style? The double's breath is warm against your face, though the air here is cold enough to make your fingers numb. It smells faintly metallic, like rain on iron. You can hear it breathing now, slow, measured, as if matching the rhythm of your own lungs, or perhaps forcing them to match its beats. Somewhere deep in the water, something clicks. Not like stone, not like bone, more like the sound of a key turning in a lock that hasn't been opened in years. Your eyes dart to the glowing figures, still motionless, still watching, but one of them, at the very edge of your vision, shifts its head. Just a fraction, enough for you to notice. They're not statues. The beam from your chest pulses once. The cavern answers with a low, thrumming vibration, deep enough to make the water quiver and the stones under your boots tremble. This isn't your first time here. The double's words land like a statement, not a question. You've just forgotten. Your throat tightens. You try to remember, but the act of trying feels like pushing against a locked door. Images slip away the moment you reach for them. The soldier's voice cuts in again, sharper this time. Don't listen. That's how it starts. How it starts. The double mocks its eyes, narrowing. No, this is how it ends. It moves closer until the surface of the water between you is only an inch from your boots. Your own reflection is gone now, completely replaced by this other self. The resemblance is perfect except for the eyes, which burn with that impossible light. The beam narrows, growing hotter, not against your skin, but inside you. It's looking for something, searching. You realize, with sudden clarity, it's not trying to find your name, it's trying to take it. You open your mouth to speak, but before a sound escapes, the water erupts. One of the glowing figures steps forward. The ripples spread outward in perfect rings, each one silent but heavier than the last, as though they might knock you over if they hit harder. It doesn't look at you, it looks at the double, and then it says something in a language you don't understand, but your bones seem to know it. The cavern answers with another deep hum. The soldier's voice is gone. Only you, your double, and the figures remain. Last chance, the double whispers. the edges of its mouth twitching. Name yourself, or I will. You stand there, suspended in the breath between moments. Even the dripping water has stopped. The silence is so thick, it feels like a weight pressing against your chest. Your double tilts its head, not like a person, but like an animal gauging whether you're prey or something more dangerous. Its eyes never blink, not once. The glowing figure that stepped forward remains still, but there's a tension in its posture, like it's bracing for something. The other figures stay in place, but you can feel them now, each one watching, each one aware. The soldier's voice doesn't return, but his absence feels wrong, like a lifeline has been cut. Your double's lips curl into the barest shadow of a smile. You feel it, don't you? Its voice is softer now, almost gentle. That empty space where you thought you were safe. I can fill it for you. A pulse of heat blooms in your chest again, stronger this time. It's pulling not from outside, but from inside you, from a place you didn't even know could be touched. You feel dizzy. Your knees want to buckle. The beam of light from your chest flickers like a dying candle. The cavern reacts instantly. Shadows lengthen, and the water darkens until it's almost black. The glowing figure takes a slow step closer to the double, and the water between them ripples outward in a precise, deliberate pattern. Not random, not natural. A message. The double's expression changes. It's still smiling, but there's a sharpness now, a tightening of the jaw, a glint in the eye that wasn't there before. It doesn't like being interrupted. Stay out of this, it says to the figure without turning its head away from you. The figure doesn't move, doesn't speak, but the rings of water keep moving, spreading, multiplying. The heat in your chest turns into a pull, a tether, something yanking you forward toward the water's edge. Your boots scrape stone, your balance tips, and then something grabs your wrist. You spin, heart hammering, and there's another hand, a human hand, holding you. It's attached to a face you don't recognize. A woman, pale from the cold, hair plastered to her forehead, breathing hard as if she's been running for miles. Her eyes are wide, urgent. If you speak your name, she says, voice shaking, you won't be the one wearing it anymore. The woman's grip tightens, nails biting into your skin, not hard enough to break it, but enough to remind you she's real. Her breath is hot against the cold air of the cavern. Do you understand me? She asks again, sharper this time. Behind you, your double tilts its head the other way, like it's curious how long this interruption will last. The glowing figure remains utterly still, the concentric ripples still rolling outward in impossible precision. Don't look back, the woman hisses. Her voice is urgent, but not panicked. It's the voice of someone who's been here longer than you, who knows the rules you haven't learned yet. But of course, you look back. You can't help it, and you see it. Your double isn't standing where it was anymore. It's closer, half the distance gone without a single step you remember hearing. The smile is wider now, showing teeth, too many teeth. The water between it and the glowing figure churns, the perfect ripples breaking into chaos. The figure's glow flares bright for just a second, then dims again, like a candle struggling in a wind you can't feel. You need to move, the woman says, tugging on your arm. You resist, not because you want to, but because the pull from the double is stronger now. It's like it's hooked something in you, something that's not physical, and is reeling it in. Your knees bend without your permission. The stone under your feet is slick, wet. One more step forward and you'll be in the water. The woman swears under her breath. Her free hand reaches into a pouch at her belt, pulling out something small, dark, wet. She presses it into your palm. It's warm, too warm, and it's beating like a heart. The moment it touches your skin, the pull weakens, just slightly, but enough for you to take a step back. The double's smile falters. Its head tilts back to level. Those too many teeth vanish, replaced by a blank, unreadable face. You can't keep them, it says. Not for long. The glowing figure finally moves, just one step forward, and the entire cavern changes. The water turns from black to mirror-bright silver, and the light reflects onto the ceiling in jagged, shifting patterns. The air smells like rain and iron. The woman leans in close, whispering into your ear. If you want to leave here with yourself still inside you, don't speak, don't answer, and don't touch the water. And then she starts pulling you toward the far wall, away from the center, away from your double. But every step you take, you can hear it behind you. Not walking, not running, just closer. The sound changes first. It's not footsteps. It's not breathing. It's something in between. Like the slow tearing of fabric underwater, faint but relentless, following you as the woman pulls you deeper into the cavern. You glance to the side, walls slick with condensation, veins of quartz catching the faint silver light and fracturing it into spiderwebs of reflection. Every glimmer feels like a moving shadow. Every shadow feels like it's watching. The woman doesn't speak again. Her silence is the kind that warns you. Words would only make things worse. Her pace is quick, but not frantic. She's leading you along a path that hugs the wall, one foot carefully placed in front of the other, avoiding the small puddles that catch the silver glow. You notice now, your reflection in those puddles is wrong. In one, you're facing the wrong way. In another, your eyes are closed, even though they're open. The worst is the third one. In it, your reflection is smiling. The tug at your mind is still there, less violent than before, but constant, like a thread looped around your thoughts being pulled taut. You can almost picture the double's hand holding that thread. Somewhere far behind, the water ripples again. Not concentric circles this time. A single wave rolling toward you, slow and deliberate. The woman stops so suddenly you nearly collide with her. She presses you against the rock wall, her eyes fixed on something ahead. It's a doorway, or at least it's shaped like one. A perfect arch carved into the stone, smooth where everything else is rough. No light beyond it, no reflection, no sound. Just darkness so complete, it feels like a hole torn in reality. The woman finally speaks, but her voice is barely a breath. We can't go through unless it calls us. She looks back over her shoulder, and you do too, against your better judgment. Your double is standing at the water's edge now, still, smiling again, and the glowing figure, it's gone. You don't remember deciding to blink. But when your eyes open again, the woman is no longer looking at you, she's watching the doorway. Her body is rigid, like she's bracing for something to push through. The air changes. You can't describe it any other way. It's as if the space itself takes a breath and holds it. The cavern is utterly still. No drip of water, no faint hiss of your own breath echoing back at you. Even your heartbeat feels muffled, as though it's afraid to draw attention. The darkness inside the arch begins to move. Not like a curtain swaying in wind, more like the surface of ink being disturbed by something underneath. Shadows form shapes, almost human, almost. The woman's hand tightens on your arm. Her grip is no longer guiding, it's holding you in place. Then, faintly, a sound emerges from the arch. It's not words, it's not language. It's the sound of your own voice, whispering something you can't make out. It repeats, over and over. Each time, it grows sharper, as though the darkness is learning how to pronounce the syllables of your fear. You realize you've been leaning forward. You hadn't noticed yourself moving at all, but your body is being pulled, not by force, but by the need to hear more. The woman yanks you back hard enough that your shoulder protests. "Not yet," she hisses. Behind you, a ripple in the water. Louder this time. When you glance back, your double is closer. Too close. It's still smiling, but the smile is wrong now. The skin around it stretches too far. Its eyes are fixed not on you, but on the archway. The silver veins in the walls pulse once. Then again, they're in rhythm with something deep below. The woman exhales, and when she does, the darkness inside the arch exhales too. The double tilts its head. Not much, just enough for you to see the way its neck moves. Too smoothly, as though there are fewer bones inside than there should be. Its smile widens another fraction. That stretch again, skin pulling just a bit too far over cheekbones that seem sharper now. You notice something you hadn't before. Its reflection is wrong. The water beneath it should be mirroring every detail, but instead, the surface shows only you. Not here, not now. You, standing in a place you don't recognize. The reflection of your mouth moves, forming words you can't hear. The woman's grip tightens. "Don't answer," she says under her breath. Her voice is steady, but her eyes never leave the archway. From within that shifting dark, something like a hand pushes forward. But it's not made of flesh. It's made of the same silver that threads the walls. It's almost beautiful. Almost. It curls its fingers, not toward the woman, not toward your double, but toward you. It beckons. The sound of your voice inside the arch grows louder. It's saying something over and over now. You can almost make it out. Almost. Then you hear it clearly. Closer. The woman steps between you and the arch. Her shadow swallows the reaching silver hand. Instantly, the voice stops. From somewhere deeper in the cavern, something clicks. Not like stone, not like metal, more like a lock inside your own ribs being unlatched. The double is still smiling, still watching, and now, it's holding something. You can't see what, only that it drips into the water, sending out slow, perfect rings that never break apart. The woman doesn't move. Neither does the double, but the air changes. Heavier, thicker, as if the whole cavern just inhaled and forgot how to exhale. You notice the water's surface. Those rings from the dripping, they're still spreading, still perfect. They should have faded long ago, but they just keep widening and widening and widening, until it feels like they're moving beneath your feet instead of on the water. The woman tilts her head slightly, listening to something you can't hear, then her voice barely above a whisper. It's early, too early. Your double finally moves. Not its face, its hands. It holds them up, palms outward. The skin isn't right. Too pale, too flat. Between its fingers, thin lines of water hang in the air like strings. No droplets, no fall, just suspended, shimmering threads that twitch when it moves. It pulls one gently, and you feel it in your chest, like someone tugged a string inside you. The woman swears quietly, steps forward. Her hand darts out, and you hear a hiss from the arch. It's not the double making that sound. It's the thing behind it. The silver hand withdraws back into the shifting dark. The tugging in your chest stops. But your double doesn't drop the water threads. It just keeps smiling. "Do not," the woman says, still not looking at you. "Let it speak your name." You don't even have time to ask what she means. The double's head tilts, not like a person curious about a noise, more like a puppet whose strings just got pulled by something with no sense of anatomy. Its neck moves too far, too loose. That smile doesn't waver, but the mouth starts to open, slowly, deliberately, as if whatever's inside isn't in any rush. The air between you and it starts to thrum, not sound exactly, more like a low vibration in the bones of your skull. It's trying to speak, but not with a voice. You feel the syllables being built in your mind before you hear them. Your name begins to form there, the way it would sound if someone said it underwater, drawn out and warped until it feels less like a word and more like a shape pressing against your thoughts. The woman is moving now, fast. She steps in front of you, one arm out, as if that could shield you from the thing that is you. Her other hand is buried in her coat, pulling something out. A flat piece of black stone etched with lines that seem to shimmer in the dripping light. The moment the double sees it, its mouth closes. Its head jerks once, twice, like an animal in pain. The water threads it held dissolve into the air. But you still feel a faint ache in your chest where they'd been pulling. Behind it, the thing in the arch lets out a low, warping sound. Half gurgle, half breath. The darkness moves differently now, rolling in a way that makes you think it has more than one side. And then, you see something in that darkness turn. Not a face, not eyes, but awareness. It's looking at you. That awareness, it doesn't need a body to be heavy. It presses on the air like a storm that hasn't broken yet. All weight and no wind. The smell of the tunnels changes. The usual damp stone and metal temps is now laced with something sweet, like flowers that have been dead too long but refuse to rot. The woman plants her feet, stone slab held forward, her lips moving fast but silent, her voice swallowed before it can reach the air. The double mirrors her stance, but wrong. Her feet point the wrong way. Her head leans too far. Her shoulders shift in a rhythm that doesn't match human breath. You feel it before you hear it. A pulse in the ground, slow and deliberate, like a giant hand patting the earth from below. 1, 2, 3. Each one makes the arch ripple, not as if it's moving, but as if the space inside it doesn't agree with the space out here. The thing in the arch leans closer. No, not closer, bigger. It's not approaching so much as being more here than it was a moment ago. Your eyes water, not from fear, from the sheer wrongness of watching something that shouldn't fit anywhere begin to fit everywhere. The woman's hand trembles, but she doesn't lower the slab. She keeps moving her lips. The double keeps moving hers, delayed by half a beat, like an echo with a mind of its own. The darkness swells. It's waiting, not to attack, not to leave. It's waiting for you to say something. You try to swallow, but your throat sticks. The air is too thick. It's like breathing water that hasn't decided whether it wants to drown you yet. The woman glances at you. A flicker, nothing more. But in that glance is an entire paragraph. Don't speak, don't move, don't think too loud. Your heartbeat ignores her advice. It slams against your ribs like it's trying to knock itself out. The double tilts its head in a way that is almost playful, too playful, like a cat pretending it hasn't already decided whether you're a toy or food. The pulsing underfoot changes. It's no longer slow. It's picking up. 4, 5, 6, closer together now, like something counting down. The woman's silent words grow sharper. Her knuckles whiten on the slab. The arch seems to lean forward, its top bowing ever so slightly, not from weight, but from attention. The thing in the arch doesn't have eyes. Not in the way you'd recognize, but it's staring at you all the same. The way deep water stares at someone who leans too far over the edge of a boat. It wants you to answer. It wants you. Your name forms in your head, not the one you give strangers, not even the one your family uses. The first one, the one you've never said aloud, because you didn't know you had it until now. It slides to the front of your mind, ready to spill out of your mouth. The woman snaps her gaze to you. Her silent mouthing stops. Her eyes widen, not in fear, but in command. Don't. You feel it before you hear it, a whisper curling round your mind. Not sound exactly, but a sensation, like someone running their fingertips along the inside of your skull. It forms shapes. Shapes you know, shapes you've never seen. Say it. Your lips twitch, but no sound comes out. Your throat burns as if the words themselves are knives. The double steps closer, every movement perfectly mirrored with the shadows around it. It leans forward, eyes ablaze, voice forming in your head. Say your name, or I will. Your hands clench. The flat black slab in the woman's grip glows faintly. A pulse in sync with the low vibration under your feet. She's not just holding it, she's feeding it energy, throwing invisible lines of resistance between you and the entity. The thing in the arch shifts. It doesn't walk. It doesn't move in any human sense. It expands. Darkness radiates outward, coating the cavern walls, the water, even the double. Like ink spreading across a page. The whisper intensifies. Say it, your name, give it to me. You feel something rise in your chest. A memory, a heartbeat, a tether, something primal, older than reason. The woman leans close. Her lips move, this time, just barely, but you hear, anchor yourself. Remember who you are. The double flinches. For a fraction of a second, the burning white in its eyes falters. Its smile twists, loses symmetry. The arch pulses again, this time faster, like a heartbeat competing with your own. The dark entity isn't patient. It doesn't strike, not yet. It's learning, testing. The water ripples violently, sending silver threads shooting toward your boots. You stumble backward, but the woman holds you tight. Hold it, she hisses. Do not give it an inch. The double laughs, or at least, the sound in your mind is laughter. A low, rolling vibration that rattles your bones. It wants you to speak. It wants it all. And you don't even know what it is yet. And then the cavern shifts. Not the water, not the stone, you. Everything you thought was solid, familiar, real, twists around your perception. The reflection in the puddles now moves independently, mimicking your gestures with a sinister delay. Even the air seems to bend toward the arch, carrying a cold that's alive. Your chest pulses. The whisper grows louder, faster. Say it, say it, say it. And in the corner of your vision, the woman tightens her jaw. She's holding something else now, another piece of black stone, a key, not for a door, for you. The key in the woman's hand vibrates faintly, a barely there pulse that matches the rhythm of the cavern, or maybe your own heartbeat. You can't tell anymore. The double takes another step, slow, methodical, each movement sending tiny ripples through the silvered water. Threads that curl up your legs like cold fingers. The whisper inside your skull hisses now. Give it, your name, give it to me. Your chest tightens. The weight of it presses against your lungs, makes your arms tremble, makes your knees threaten to buckle again. The woman plants her feet. Her hands are steady on the slab and the key. She doesn't speak aloud, but you feel her intent like a shield pressed against your back. The double leans closer, tilts its head, and for the first time, it pauses. Its gaze flickers, not at you, but at the key. It knows. The darkness in the arch thickens, curling toward the double and the water. Not like a wave, not like smoke. More like ink trying to swallow light. Every ripple in the water, every reflection, every shadow now moves toward the same point. The key, the whisper, has changed. It's no longer a simple command. It's mocking, taunting, probing at the edges of your mind. You don't even know your name. You never have. Give it. Give it. You belong to me. You can feel the threads of your own identity stretching toward it, pulled by some invisible force. A scream rises in your throat. Not yours, not yet, but the double catches it first. It leans in close. Its lips are almost on your ear. Say it, or I will take it anyway. The woman slams the black slab into the water. A shockwave spreads out, throwing your balance off. The silver threads collapse. The double stumbles back, flickers. For a heartbeat, you can see its human shape fade, only to return, sharper, stranger, more wrong. The darkness in the arch quivers. It waits, hungry, patient. And the whisper, the voice, reaches deep into you, tasting the fear, seeking the name. The woman's hand presses the key into your palm. It burns warm, it vibrates, it hums. It is not just an object, it is an anchor. And in that instant, you realize something. If you let go of the key, if you speak, if you hesitate even for a heartbeat, you will never leave this place the same. The double takes a tentative step forward, and the water ripples again. Slow, deliberate, and now with intent. The arch stretches wider, the darkness reaches further, and you understand this is no longer a standoff, it's a test. One wrong move, and nothing you were ever sure of will remain. The key pulses in your hand, the whisper grows louder, and somewhere in the depths of the arch, something shifts. Something is coming. The cavern seems to contract around you. Every breath tastes metallic, thick with the weight of the darkness pressing from the arch. The double stands frozen, still smiling, but there's a twitch now, subtle, at the corner of its mouth. Like it knows the game is changing. The water beneath your boots begins to vibrate. Not violently, not like an earthquake, but like the faint pulse of a heartbeat. Yours, the double's. Something else. You can't tell, and it's maddening. The key in your hand hums louder, warm and insistent, like it's alive, like it's calling to you. The woman's eyes never leave the arch, her lips moving silently, forming shapes that feel like prayers and warnings all at once. The double leans in closer, its voice, inside your head now, not through the air, twists around the edges of your thoughts. They think you can hold on to it. They think you know what it means. You don't. Give it to me. The darkness in the arch quivers, not moving, not rushing, but stretching, expanding like a living thing, testing the boundaries of the cavern. The silvered water shivers with it. You feel your name on the tip of your tongue. Not the name everyone knows. Not the name on your birth certificate. The first name you've never said aloud. The one that feels like the spine of your very soul. Your mouth opens, but nothing comes out. The double's smile falters. For the first time, hesitation. Its hands twitch toward the key. It doesn't grab it, not yet. The woman snaps her eyes toward you. Silent command. Hold it. Don't give it. Do not speak. The weight of her stare is heavier than the darkness. The whisper in your skull becomes a roar. Say it. Give it. You belong to me. And then, From the depths of the arch, something moves, not toward you, not toward the double, directly at the key. The silver threads in the water tighten, the darkness coils, and the key pulses in your palm. Warmer, faster, alive with a force you can feel crawling up your arm. Everything is holding its breath. The double takes a careful step forward. The woman's hands tighten, the darkness ripples, and just as the key begins to sing in your hand, the arch shifts again. Something is breaking through. The cavern vibrates like it's straining under some invisible weight. Your knees shake, your chest pulses, the key burns hotter in your palm. You can feel the threads of your own being stretching toward the arch. Tugged by the darkness, pulled by the double's silent insistence, the double tilts its head again, watching you. Its grin is sharper now, teeth catching the silver light. But there's a pause this time, hesitation, something it didn't expect. The woman leans forward, pressing the slab and the key together, her lips moving silently in rapid, intricate shapes. A current seems to flow from her hands into yours, anchoring you in a reality that feels fragile, fragile enough to shatter with a single misstep. The darkness in the arch coils tighter. It isn't rushing, it's calculating, stretching, probing, testing the edges of your fear. Silver threads curl outward again, brushing the double's boots, making the water ripple like a mirror being cracked from below. The whisper grows, more insistent now, threaded with menace. Say it, give it, you are mine. Your lips twitch, your chest burns. The first name rises again, the name you've never spoken aloud, the name that belongs only to you. And yet, something in the cavern shifts. A low hum vibrates through the stone walls, through the silvered water, through your own bones. The double freezes mid-step. The darkness bends slightly backward, recoiling. The woman's grip on the key tightens, and suddenly, all sound drops out. Even the whisper disappears, leaving only the pulsing vibration of the key in your hand. For a single, impossible heartbeat, the world is suspended. The double, the woman, the arch, the darkness, everything waits. Then the key pulses violently. The silver threads in the water shoot upward, twisting into shapes that are almost letters, almost words, but you cannot read them. The darkness shivers, and from deep within the arch, something begins to emerge. Not fully, not yet, but enough to make you realize. This is no longer about holding your name. It's about surviving the moment it breaks through. The shape emerges slowly, not a body, not yet. Just a distortion, a ripple in the darkness. Like the air itself has folded in on something that shouldn't exist. The double leans closer, tilting its head, silent now, studying the arch as if it's seeing it for the first time. Its grin has faded, replaced by something sharper, curiosity mixed with unease. The silver threads in the water rise higher, trembling like they're alive, wrapping around your ankles, your boots, even the slab the woman holds. The key vibrates violently in your hand, humming a tone that resonates through your bones, like it's calling something or warning you. The woman leans forward, murmuring in her silent, sharp language, and you feel her intent reach out through your fingers, through the key anchoring you. The darkness flinches slightly at her command, and then, from the heart of the arch, something solid begins to take form. A shadow first, then contours like stretched and warped metal, twisting into angles that make your stomach lurch. It moves fluidly, yet impossibly, like a figure made of smoke trying to imitate a person. Your double flinches. For the first time, It steps back. Its voice echoes in your head, low and dangerous. It shouldn't. It can't. The whisper in your skull returns, louder, urgent, almost pleading. Say it, give it, let it know you belong. Your mouth opens, but nothing comes out. The key pulses again, hotter, heavier, pulling at your grip, like it's desperate to anchor you against something that wants to consume. The woman tightens her hold, her eyes sharp. She doesn't speak, but you feel her warning, silent and absolute. Hold it, do not release, not now. The darkness expands further, curling outward in the cavern, pushing the air, pressing against the walls, trying to reach you. And the first piece of its form breaks free from the arch, hanging in the silvered light, leaning toward the double, toward you, toward everything. It is coming, and whatever it is, it's hungry. The shape hangs in the air like a question mark, twisting, coiling, pulsing, and your chest aches as if it's reaching inside you, probing the corners of memory you didn't know existed. The double stumbles back another step. Its perfect composure is gone, replaced by sharp, jerky movements. It whispers in your head, though the words aren't human anymore. It's not supposed to move like that. Not here, not yet. The silver threads from the water lash out, writhing toward the emerging form. Your boots tremble beneath you, the ripples tangling and snapping like living vines. The key in your hand vibrates violently, heat radiating up your arm. It hums a tone that rattles your skull, and you suddenly understand. It's not just a key, it's a lock, a seal, a tether. The woman's eyes blaze, her body rigid, every inch radiating control and unshakable focus. Her silent murmurings grow sharper, and you feel a pull in your chest, a resistance threading through your bones, binding you, the key, the double, the approaching darkness. The entity in the arch shifts again. It's taller now, limbs stretching in ways that shouldn't bend. The head, or what might be a head, leans toward you, a void where eyes should be, yet you know it's staring straight at your mind. The whisper surges, no longer a coaxing plea but a roar. Say it, give it, your name. You stumble backward, heart hammering, the water at your feet surging in response. The double cries out, not with a voice, but with vibration, a sound that makes your teeth ache and your chest feel hollow. The woman's hands flash, moving the key in a precise pattern, sending pulses of energy into the air. Silver threads snap back, tangling around the approaching darkness, slowing it, holding it just enough to buy you a heartbeat, just enough to survive the next move. And then the entity lashes, not at you, not at the double, at the key. The pulse in your hand explodes, heat, vibration, and light pouring through you. The cavern shudders, the silver water jumps like it's alive, and in that instant, the first real contact is made.